Chapters 2 and 3 of The Girl Who Had Everything. Gasping for breath, Alex scrambled to her feet. She hoped the background music in the store would cover any sound she had made. She peeked through the curtain. Sure enough, Jerry Lynn was face down on the showroom floor, not moving. Alex's hand trembled as she reached into her purse. Where was her cell phone? But the man and woman were already hurrying toward the dressing rooms. There was no time. She flung her purse over her shoulder. A back door. There must be some place to unload a truck. She dashed by the next dressing room just as the man and woman came into sight. Alex ran. At the back of the store, she spotted a wide door. To one side was a bathroom. Alex noticed several bottles and cans of cleaning products. She grabbed a bottle of window cleaner and shoved it in her purse. She heard heavy footsteps coming up behind her. The man was breathing heavily and the woman was swearing loudly. The padlock on the back door wasn't fastened. Now the man was just 3 feet behind her. Alex snatched the padlock and threw it hard at him. A snarl of pain told her she'd hit him. She pulled open the door and sprang out into the sunshine. What should she do now? Where should she go? Seeing that a metal ladder ran up to the roof, she started climbing. The hot metal burned her fingers and bare feet. When she reached the top, Alex looked around for a moment, panting. Then she stepped to the side of the roof and looked down at the street below. The sidewalk was empty. Will someone help me? She screamed. Help! The traffic flowed by. A woman in a convertible slowed and looked around. Up here, Alex yelled. But the man and woman from the store had now reached the top of the ladder. Alex saw that the adjacent roof was 5, maybe 6 feet away. She had often made 5-foot jumps in her ballet classes, but what if it was further than it looked? Her stomach tightened and turned cold. She backed up. The man was closing in on her, reaching out to grab at her waist. Alex swerved away from him and pushed off the edge. For a split second, she felt the rush of empty air around her. Her legs stretched wide in a nearly perfect jump. Then she smacked down hard on the adjacent roof. Bits of tar and hot gravel scraped her bare feet. She turned and looked back to the other building. The man was gone. The leap must have been too far for him. I've got to keep going. Then Alex heard someone calling her name. It was coming from below. She looked over the roof's edge and was stunned to see Jerry Lynn standing in the alley that Alex had just cleared. Alex, Jerry Lynn called again. Come on, we can get to the car from here. Alex stared at Jerry Lynn. Just a few minutes ago, she had seemed to be unconscious. Now she didn't seem to have been hurt at all. Alex continued to stare in silence as Jerry Lynn moved to the roof ladder and began climbing. Jerry Lynn talked soothingly as she climbed. It's okay, baby. I know you're scared, but I'm going to help you. Come to me, baby. Hurry. Jerry Lynn shouted as she reached the top of the roof and ran towards Alex. You took me to Galen's, Alex cried out. You must be with them. Jerry Lynn gave her a pained look. Her voice was warm. You're just scared, she said. It's okay. Look, you go down to the street first. I'll cover for you. Go on now. Her hand moved toward her vest pocket. Alex whipped the window cleaner out of her purse. The spray hit Jerry Lynn's wrist, making her pause. Then Alex lunged forward and sprayed the woman's ear and the side of her face. Jerry Lynn let out an anguished roar. She reached out blindly, but Alex was already running. She looked down when she reached the end of the roof. About 10 feet below was a big dumpster. Beyond that was a small parking lot. Maybe I can jump into the dumpster, climb out, and run into the street, she thought. The dumpster was piled high with cardboard boxes. What was in them? There was no time to wonder. Letting out a high, thin scream, Alex jumped. She landed with a whump, the boxes crumpling under her hands and feet. The impact had thrown her sideways, painfully twisting her right foot. Now the corner of a box poked her neck. Gradually, Alex pulled herself toward the edge of the dumpster. Her breath was coming in ragged gasps. As she gripped the hot metal edge, 2 hands grabbed her wrist. It was the man from the store. He was small, but the muscles in his arms were as big as baseballs, and his hands gripped her like iron. When she lunged forward to bite him, he slapped her, making her ears ring. Now, the woman was reaching over the man's shoulder. She was holding a folded rag in her hand. Alex thrashed and yelled, but she couldn't get away. The woman clapped the rag over her mouth. It smelled awful. Almost immediately, soft gray spots began to appear in front of Alex's eyes. They grew larger. She could still see Jerry Lynn, her bodyguard, an only friend in the world, standing behind the man. Alex tried to yell, I hate you, but everything had turned black. Chapter 3. It must have been something they'd put in the rag. Her dreams were crazy. Alex dreamed that her mother was alive. She'd gotten out of the hospital bed and said, the tumor's gone. Alex, it's your turn to get in bed. Then Alex was on a ride called the Tilt-A-Whirl at the fair. She was alone in the car as it jerked her back and forth and back and forth. Stop, let me off, she yelled, but no one heard her. She opened her eyes to complete darkness. She was in the back of a panel truck. Every time it stopped, she rolled. Now Alex noticed that her hands and back and neck were very sore. Her feet were raw. Her head throbbed painfully. Worse than her pain, though, was the betrayal of her bodyguard. Jerry Lynn has always been there. She'd made Alex do her homework and told her which jeans looked best. She'd listened. Now Alex had no one. She'd never felt so alone and afraid. Heavy sobs shook her. She cried for a long time. Something rolled into her back. A bottle. She felt around in the dark and found more bottles, some cloths and dirty fast food containers. Alex was so hungry they almost smelled good. She pushed the junk to one end of the van. Then she piled up some clothes and lay down on them. She had to make herself think. Her kidnappers wanted money, Daddy's money, so they wouldn't want her dead. That gave her a small advantage. Maybe she could escape after all. At last the truck stopped. When the back door opened, Alex could smell the ocean. The man climbed in. "We're getting out," he said. "You're going to follow Brandy, and I'll be right behind you, so don't get stupid." She stepped out into a parking lot. The evening light seemed bright after the dark truck. No one else was around. "Get her shoes," the woman snapped. "Nah, leave her shoes, Brandy. She doesn't need shoes," Tick said. Brandy's voice was cold. "Her feet are bleeding," she snarled. "Do you want bloodstains all over the place?" Tick grunted and ran his hands through his thin hair. Brandy gave him a hard look. "Don't mess up again," she said as Tick went back to the truck. Beyond the parking lot, Alex saw a few buildings and rundown stores. A wooden pier led out to the water. On either side were boats of all sizes. Several people were on the walkway. Maybe if Alex ran and yelled. Tick handed Alex her shoes and they walked on. "I got a gun here in my pocket," Tick said. "You try anything cute and I'll use it. I promise you. You'll never dance again, girl." Alex felt a cold chill. They wouldn't kill her, but they could cripple her. And they knew that she danced ballet. Only Jerry Lynn could have told them how much it meant to her. It was a beautiful evening with a turquoise sky. Gulls swooped and dove around them. On one boat, a family was having dinner. One of the kids laughed and the others joined in. Their laughter rang sweetly in the evening air. Alex felt like she was watching them through the bars of a prison. Brandy stopped in front of a dingy white boat, looked about 24 feet long. Years ago, it probably had been a handsome craft. Now its wood was gray and peeling and its metal was rusted. Faded letters on the side of the boat spelled the proud name Paradise. Brandy opened the hatch. Just below, Alex could see a metal ladder and a small space. "Get in," Brandy ordered. Alex climbed down the ladder, and Brandy went after her. As they reached the bottom, Brandy grabbed Alex's shoulder. Then she slapped Alex so hard her head snapped back. "That's for making us chase after you," she cried angrily. Then she left, pulling the hatch shut behind her. Alex sank to the floor. Tears stung her eyes. "Don't cry," she told herself. "Crying will only make you tired." She knew she had to keep her strength. In a few minutes, she heard a motor start up. The boat began to vibrate and move. Tick opened the hatch and dropped down a little bag of chips, a small bag of cookies, and a bottle of soda. Junk food, thought Alex. Her ballet teacher, Miss Montoya, would have a fit. Alex ate it all. She looked around the hold. It was about 10 feet long and so narrow she could touch both walls at once. Most of the space was taken up by a mattress covered with a sheet. There was a small lamp with a plastic shade and a tiny bathroom at one end. Alex could imagine the plans Brandy and Tick had for her. They'd take her somewhere and make a deal with her dad. Then she'd be exchanged for her dad's money. His money would buy her life, and she'd owe him. Oh, would she owe him? No, she told herself angrily. She refused to owe that man anything. She'd escape no matter what. As Alex looked at the lamp, she remembered a story of her mother's. When Mom was in college, her roommate had accidentally started a fire. The girl had tried to dry a T-shirt by draping it over a lamp. A few minutes later, though, the shirt had started to smoke. Alex got a towel from the bathroom and put it over the lamp. Then she went into the bathroom, soaked another towel with water. The sink was the size of a salad bowl. She spilled a lot of water. Alex watched as a black spot appeared on the towel. Soon the smoke began to rise until it filled the room like a gray cloud. "Fire!" she screamed. "Get me out of here!" Then she quickly clapped the wet towel over her mouth. Tick came charging down the ladder with a fire extinguisher. He sprayed wildly, hitting the ceiling and walls. Alex waited in the bathroom. She could hear Tick coughing and choking. She knew he couldn't see her. In a flash, she charged past him up the ladder. She didn't see Brandy. Lights on the pier looked about a mile away. She could make it. She took 2 steps toward the side. Then Brandy called out, "Don't you move!" And she fired a gun over Alex's head.